Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the chapter electrostatics, beyond which we will discuss about few topics. So starting with Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law. So suppose let us consider Q1 with a positive charge and Q2 with another positive charge separated by a distance, suppose small r. Small r may be the distance between both the charges, and the charges are taken, suppose positive. Okay. So Coulomb's law states that the force which exists between both the charges are directly proportional to multiplication of both the charges, that is Q1 and Q2. Second one is directly proportional to 1 by r square, or inversely proportional to square of distance between them. So it will be 1 by r square. As a whole, we can write F directly proportional to Q1 Q2 by r square. So F equals to, here will be a constant K, Q1 Q2 by r square. The value of the constant is given as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by r square. So it is the ultimate expression for force between two charges. Here, two assumptions need to be taken. First one is assumption. First one is the charges must be stationary. Both the charges must be stationary or fixed at a certain point. Second assumption is charges must be point sized. That means we should consider both the charge as a point object. If both the assumption is concluded, then only the Coulomb's law will be valid. If the charges are moving, then there is no option for Coulomb's law. Simple. So here we get a constant part 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. The value of 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is 9 into 10 to the power 9. The unit will be Newton meter square per Coulomb square. It is the constant value. Here epsilon naught gives, it is the relative permittivity of free space. Actually, epsilon naught gives the idea about the medium in which Q1 and Q2 are kept. That is the main ultimate thing. Here, the force, here we consider both the charges as positive charge. So, the force, the nature of the force is, nature of the force is repulsive. Actually, it may be either repulsive or attractive depending upon the nature of the charges. Either it is positive or negative. If both the charges are same, then it will be repulsive force. If unlike charges are there, then there will be attractive force. So it is the most important point. Another thing is, this force is central force. Central force. That means the electrostatics Coulomb force is known as, or is maybe called as, central force. Then what is central force? What does it mean? The central force means the force will act. Let me write the line. The force will act along the line joining the two charges. The force will act along the line joining the two charges. It means here the force exists is repulsive force. Here you can see the force will act. The simplest way to join both the charges is this line. This line is the simplest line, straight line, or the shortest line, we can say. So the force will either be repulsive or attractive depending upon the nature of the charges, but the force will always act. If it is attractive, the force will be like this, or if it is repulsive, the force will be like this. But it will act along the line joining the two charges. That is the central force. Simple. If any force acts along the line joining the two charges or two bodies, in other case, similarly gravitational force is also a central force, because the force acts in the line joining of the two bodies, or here two charges. So here what we see is that Coulomb force gives the idea about what is the nature of the force, or either it will be repulsive or attractive, and it also describes that it is a central force. Yes, one thing must be clear: the assumption should be taken into consideration. Now, coming to the next point, next part is relative permittivity. Relative permittivity. It also termed as dielectric constant. Dielectric constant. Suppose if two charges are placed in medium, in air medium or in vacuum medium, then the expression of the force will be equation 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r square. Now suppose this force, suppose it is in air, suffix air, and it is in any medium. Suppose if both the charges are kept in any medium other than vacuum or air, in that case it will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught k. There will be k term, or in simple way we can write it as epsilon. We write it as epsilon, only epsilon. Suppose the epsilon is the relative permittivity of that medium. So epsilon is what? Epsilon is permittivity of medium. In that case, 1 by 4 pi epsilon q1 q2 by r square, equation 2. Now if we divide equation 1 divided by equation 2, that means dividing equation 1 by 2, we get what we get: f air by f medium equals to, see this part is totally equal, so it will cancel out each other. Similarly 1 by 4 pi will also cancel out. The remaining part will be epsilon by epsilon naught. So F air by F medium is epsilon by epsilon naught, and it is stated as epsilon r, suffix r. That means it is the relative permittivity. That means we relate two medium here. Two medium is one medium and another one is vacuum medium. So we relate both the medium. So here we get another expression for epsilon r. Epsilon r is the relative permittivity. Relative permittivity of that medium, or we can say that epsilon r is also equals to k. K is the dielectric constant. Both the value or the magnitude of the value is same, dielectric constant and relative permittivity. Right now we are not going to this part, we will discuss later on the dielectric constant part. So here it is the relative permittivity. So here we get another formula for relative permittivity is that F air by F medium is also the relative permittivity. So what we can define from here is that it can be defined, or the relative permittivity can be defined as the ratio of the force between two charges placed at a certain distance apart. Certain distance apart in air to the force between same two charges placed in another medium. That is the simple idea about the force placed in medium or in vacuum. Coming to the next point, next topic is Coulomb's law, but in vector form. That means Coulomb's law in vector form. It means the magnitude of the force is there along with direction. Suppose two charges Q1, both the charges are positive, plus Q2 are separated certain distance, say r. In that case, here you need to consider the point of reference. Now suppose, let me do it first. The direction of the distance will be r12 along this direction, and this direction will be r21. Okay. Now what will be the direction of the force? See, it is been clear that if both the charges are positive in nature, so there will exist repulsive force. Now suppose if you are standing in position Q1, in the point of Q1, so here what will be the force acting on the Q1 due to Q2? The force will be act in this direction, F12. So F12 means force on charge Q1 due to Q2. The force acting on charge Q1 due to Q2 will be in this direction. That means the force acting on the Q1 will be in this direction, so the Q1 will move in this direction because of repulsive force. In the similar way, if you choose the point of reference at point Q1, so it will be again repulsive force. So the force due to Q1 on Q2 will be in this direction. The Q2 will move in this direction. So it will be F21. So F21 is force on charge Q2 due to Q1. Simple. Now, if we take only the magnitude, F12 will be equal to F21 equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square. It is the equation 1. Now, if we consider the direction also, what will be the F12 vector will be equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. It is the constant part. Q1 Q2 by R square. It is also the constant part. Another one is the direction. See, F21, the direction of R21 is in the direction of F12. So here it will be R21 cap. Here we should replace it by cap because these are the vectors. Because R12 or R21 are the unit vector of distance. So see the direction of F12 and R21 is same in this direction, the left direction. So both the direction matches. So the resultant force or the force acting on the Q1 will be on the left direction. Suppose it is equation 2. In the similar way, F21 will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square R12 cap. See, R12 cap and the F21 is in direction from left to right. So the direction matches. Equation 3. These are the direction of force along with magnitude. Now, what we can conclude from this equation 2 and 3? What we can conclude? It can be concluded that here R cap 12 is equals to R cap 21 in magnitude but in opposite in direction. As a result of which we will put a negative sign. So because of this, we can write ultimately F12 vector is equals to F21 vector along with minus sign. This is the ultimate conclusion of this Coulomb's going vector form. Here, one thing is also proven is that it is a central force. Central force part is also been proven. How? See, the direction of F12. F12 is in straight left direction. In the same way, F21 is in the straight right direction. So, the force is acting along the line joining of the two charges. Hence, it is central force. So, today in this class, this much only. In the next video, I will upload few more topics related to the electrostatics, which will cover the superposition principle along with charge distribution, various charge distribution. We will learn in the next video. So, till then, thank you.